Welcome back to day 2, everybody. My name is Meg Young. I am a therapist in Florida and in Connecticut. I am here to help give you tools and education to help you gain mastery over your internal fears and reactions to the COVID-19 outbreak. You are all in harm's way in a way that you have never been before. All of the first responders, medical doctors, nurses, everyone who deals with people's pain every single day. You've never had to deal with something like this before, so it can be very scary. So my goal is to give you the tools and techniques and education to help you to feel calm in an uncertain world. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about the fight-flight response. Today, I want to go a little bit more with the fight-flight response. The fear you're feeling is very normal. The fear you're feeling is okay. The fear you're feeling, the anxiety that you're feeling, the stress that you're feeling is all a natural part of the human system. The fight-flight response is also known as the stress response, will activate at different levels depending on how stressed out you are. So if you are a little bit stressed out versus a lot stressed out, you're going to feel different things in your body. You're going to notice different things that are happening. This is a survival instinct. The fight-flight fear response is normal to have. So it's just a matter of what do you do with it? How do you handle when the fight-flight activates? And when it activates at a lower level, when there's just a little bit being kicked into your system versus when there's a lot being kicked into your system, you're probably going to need to do different things. So the fight-flight response is our safety mechanism. It is our survival mechanism. It is very, very primitive, and it did not develop the same way the rest of our body has. So it is in the brainstem, and the brainstem is focused only on survival. What do I need to survive as a species, as a human, or as an organism? What do I need to do to survive? And basically, what I need to do to survive is I need to eat, I need to sleep, I need to reproduce, I need to eliminate waste. That is really what needs to happen. So if you look at a single cell organism, that's all they know. As we start to grow, as we start to develop as a human being, we now develop the limbic system. The limbic system has emotion. Animals also have emotion. Dogs, cats, horses, animals also have emotion. They have that limbic system. That limbic system is where our fight-flight the brainstem is where the fight-flight will start, but it really affects the limbic system. The limbic system has a lot of different parts of it that are responsible for fight-flight. So you have the amygdala, which we talked a little bit about yesterday. That is the almond-shaped organ that basically sends out the signal into the body. The hippocampus is part of the body that stores the part of the seeing the whole picture. So what's happening in actually right here, right now. Broca's area is our thought process. That's on our left side of the brain. Not our thought process, our verbal skills. And those are on the left side of the brain. They're on the logic side of the brain. That's also in the limbic system. There's several other parts of the limbic system that are involved in the fight-flight response. And when they all do something slightly different. But basically what happens with the fight-flight response is the logic side of the brain is shut down. We don't need to think right now. We just need to survive. That's why a lot of people won't be able to tell you what's happening. They can't put it into words or say what's actually going on right now because the fight-flight has shut down logic. Also, every system that we need for survival, every system we don't need for survival in our body is shut down. So for example, digestion. You don't need to digest if you're about to die. So this fight-flight response is going to make only the parts of our body activated that need to help us survive. So you might notice that you actually have given or asked somebody if they need a glass of water when they're stressed out. You're offering them some water. Here's a bottle of water after a car accident or something. Do you even know why you're doing that? The interesting thing about that is when you drink a glass of water slowly, you're turning your systems back on. You're turning digestion back on. And when you turn digestion back on, you're telling the brain, oh, I'm okay because I'm drinking water slowly, so I'm actually not dying. So the deactivation of the fight-flight response is putting us back into what's called parasympathetic dominance. When we're stressed out, when we're anxious, we're in sympathetic dominance. So we have different parts of our body that are activating for different reasons. The sympathetic is activating for the fight-flight response, for the survival response. The parasympathetic is activating for the calm, the digest, the relax, the rest and relax. Rest and digest, I think is what it's called. In the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic, one of the things that happens is we are seeing other people's pain. We are hearing it. We are seeing everything being taken off the shelves so quickly. We're inundated with so much news all the time, not only from what's happening in our country, but what's happening in other countries. With this influx of information, our brain doesn't know. It doesn't know if we're okay right here, right now, the amygdala. So what it does is it says, wait a minute, protect yourself. The other part of your brain is saying, I am protecting myself, or okay, we don't even know if it's a problem right now. But as you continue to see it, your amygdala is going to continue to react. The more that you're in a stressful situation, the harder it is to turn it off. It's like if you ever go into somebody's house that's dealing with domestic violence, they're having a very, very hard time self-regulating. They're having a very hard time bringing it down because all they know in that environment is not being safe. So right now, when you're constantly seeing this stuff over and over and over, the amygdala is saying, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe. We're saying, the logic part of the brain is saying, you are safe, you are safe, you are safe. But until the amygdala settles down, we're not necessarily going to feel it 100%. So what I'm going to be doing with you tomorrow is kind of one thing I want to get at first is the deep fear. Why are we so afraid of this? So right now I'm doing a little bit of education. After my education, I'm going to give you the tools. Why am I doing the education first? Because why would you do my tools? Why would you use these tools if you didn't know why you were using them? So I want to make sure you understand the physiological things that are happening in the body, why these things are happening, so that you can say, this is why I'm going to do these tools, because these tools are going to help this part of the fight-flight response. These tools are going to help this part of my fear. These tools are going to help this part of what I'm going through. So tomorrow I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the deeper fears, what might be happening on a deeper level internally for us that might be causing this anxiety within us, even though we're sitting here saying, I'm okay right now, kind of getting to those deeper fears. All right. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.